Graham used verbal cues to express some interest in the examiner, consisting of comments that appear to have reciprocal intent but were not always clear. Now, I didn't know what that meant, and my wife said that it means I think it means I feign interest. I guess it's being fake. Graham has shared that he always faced social difficulty. Yeah. All right, fine. Graham has shared that he has always faced social difficulties. He always tries to avoid social encounters or interactions. Graham manages to prepare himself and mask during the time the interaction lasts, but it leaves him exhausted. He said his wife sometimes describes him as blunt in his way of expressing things. He has a way things should be, so if things are not that way, he gets stressed out, which is true. Graham struggles with non-directive activities, so I need to be told what to do and then I can do it. Expecting instructions or the purpose or meaning of the activity. Yeah, so I need to know why something needs to be done, or how, or maybe both of those things. I showed limited creative thinking. That will be I guess that's the frog thing. So the thing with the frog book, right, it was just so out of place for me. We were in there having this conversation about autism and me. We weren't talking about autism, we were talking about me, right? Which just happened to be autism. About my life, my experience of my life, and my environment. And then she gave me a kid's book and said, "What's it? What do you think of that?" And I was just so it was so out of context, and there was no context. It was out of place. I was like, what? Why are we doing this? What has this got to do with what we were doing 5 seconds ago? And I just went into it just stopped me from being able to do anything. I couldn't function. I couldn't process, and so I couldn't do anything. And then I got back to the car and I tried to explain what happened, and it just happened then as well. I just don't know. I don't know, and I don't know why I don't know. But it's like a roadblock. It's just like I've just run into a brick wall and I can't go any further. Everything stops now, and it's just because my brain is just not processing the information properly or quick enough to be able to then move on and do whatever. I just get hung up on it. And so because that frog book didn't have, so once I'd got past the what, now I can answer the question, or try to answer the question, but I still can't answer that question of what's going on because, well, there's no words. I mean, there was a couple of words. For me, a story is a book with print, you read it and it tells you a story. It might have pictures, but this was a book with images, relatively no words, and the pictures were weird. Frogs on lily pads flying through the sky. So it's not a normal thing. And this is another thing for me. The whole, it's just abstract and wrong, not correct. It doesn't make sense. I need to know why those frogs are able to fly, because frogs don't fly. Lily pads aren't in the sky, they're on the lake or whatever. So before I can allow myself to even accept the lily pads and the frogs, I need to know why. How is that possible? Because I get hung up on that and I can't go past it. It's really hard for me to just forget it or ignore it, whatever it is. And so I couldn't make sense of all these pictures that didn't make sense to me, and I couldn't make sense of why she wanted me to tell her what this fucking kids book is about. What? It was just a massive confusion for me, and I just have to do that. Accept that I just don't know. I don't know it. I don't know what it means. I don't know why I do it. I don't know why I get hung up on the smallest detail, but it's massive to me, and it's all because I just don't. Why? What's the purpose or the reasoning? What do we get for it? I'm gonna move on.